AD, with what's happened with the city the last 6 nights, days, the devastation with the fires, this tie to the city the Lakers have, how important was it for you guys to get back on that court tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it's, the tragedy, seeing it from the news and social media, being somewhat a part of it, with, me having to evacuate and looking out my window and seeing the fires right there, and obviously being close to it, JJ and, Rohan and, other, people in the organization, obviously a tough time, for our city. And, one thing we found out, through the course of, COVID, that sports kind of brings joy, back to, people, even if it's temporary. And, we're eager to, play basketball again in front of our fans. Sucks that we weren't able to, get the win, not with just that, but then, Coop's jersey retirement. But, definitely, tough situation in LA, and we appreciate all of everyone's support from around the world, around the country, and other leagues and other teams, and first responders, risking their lives to make sure that everyone try to be safe as possible. So tough time, but we're going to get through it together.
What was that like? I mean, it sounds unimaginable to look out your window and see that and not know if you're going to come back to your home.
Yeah, I mean, we were in Dallas, and when everything's just kind of started happening, and obviously, got kids and wife, and start freaking out, and then get home, and you kind of see it as we flying in, and you kind of hear about. Like I say, the first thing I heard about was JJ's house, and and then my wife started telling me about some of my daughter's classmates, their families losing homes, and my daughter, where she go ride horses, was gone, and some of my son's classmates and houses are gone, so start getting tough, start getting emotional, and then as you start to see more and more, as the days went on, more and more things happening, more and more fires happening, to the point where now it's getting close to you. Getting close to you, now you have to evacuate your home, and just a lot, but I said we're just trying to get through it, and feel good to be on the floor and just kind of bring joy, back to everyone who was here, that kind of can kind of get away from it, for 2.5 hours, and but the fight isn't over. We still have a lot to do, trying to do my part as far as helping families and communities who've been affected, and trying to whether it's donations, actually just talking about getting a suite for a couple games and bringing the first responder, the firefighters, whoever, and bring them to a game, or meeting them, or whatever the case may be. So just trying to figure it all out, and do my part as one of the leaders here in the community.
You mentioned the fight continuing, and had you guys won tonight, it would have made for a nice story that you came together and got the win, but the fight would have remained when it was.
The same, yeah.
How, though, have you felt the group come together? JJ mentioned that it was like a few days where he felt connected as a team.
Yeah, we was able to get away, but then you lean on your family, outside of your family, the Lakers family. You get the chance to practice and be around each other, and kind of the first time we seen JJ, just put our arms around him and kind of help him out with everything that was going on. But yeah, I mean, I've been thinking about that a lot. Just we come out and play, win, lose, draw. This game is over, and everything's still going on in the world. So kind of like bittersweet in a sense, because we still have people who are dealing with real life situations, and we get to go out here and play basketball. So it's kind of tough. Obviously, we still have a job to do, and at some point we're going to have to play basketball again. Go back to work. But we try to obviously get this win. We never want to lose, but with the Rams winning and us trying to get the win and bring a little bit of joy to the city for a little bit.
Thanks, AD.
Hey, Dorian, what did you notice in the second half defensively, especially in kind of with San Antonio getting to the rim? What shifted from the first half when you guys had the game a little bit more under control before they made that push?
They made adjustments. They seen we were switching, so it seemed like they, once we got AD on the perimeter, they started attacking the basket, and it worked out well.
In those switching groups, what are the keys for, I suppose, a wing or like yourself that's got multiple different responsibilities, and what are the things that are supposed to happen that maybe didn't as much?
Well, CP's a Hall of Fame point guard, so he just started manipulating the game. He started trying to put different matchups on bigger guys, and it would either cause us to overreact and they get a corner three, or even if they missed a shot, they was getting the offensive rebound. But we got to come out better second half, fight a little bit more.
Dorian, obviously you weren't with the team all that long prior to this layoff from the Fires. JJ mentioned that he thought it was a time that the team felt connected. What was it like for you to kind of have this time with this new group?
It's been a crazy 2 weeks since I've been to LA, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. Just with everything that's going on, being in the hotel, so seeing all these families who also there. So it's been eye-opening, definitely eye-opening, because I'm not from no Fires or anything like that. So just them, telling me about what's going on, and it happens all the time, but not like this. So it was. It was tough. A bunch of families in there. But as far as practice, it was a chance for us to practice. That was the first time I practiced with guys, so we definitely, got better. We didn't execute the game plan like we were supposed to, but coaches gave us, they gave us the right answers to the test. We just ain't used to study guide.
Dorian, today on FanDuel, running back Lou Williams, who used to play for the Lakers a couple years ago, said that basketball really brings LA together. In the midst of a bunch of things that are going on right now. So for you as a player, what was it like just playing in the game tonight? Obviously, amidst everything that's going on with the Fires.
No, it was amazing, man. The fans was amazing. That second half, it was tough because you could tell they wanted to get into the game, but obviously things weren't going our way. But, usually the game of basketball bring people together. Takes your minds off of all the things that's going around, and you can, celebrate your team or, the city you from. So, playing tonight, I felt, as a team, we felt like, it was going to do that. And unfortunately, we didn't get the win, but, we still got people a chance to, escape reality for a little bit and root for their team.
Dorian, with this defeat, the Lakers are on a 3-game losing streak. Obviously, you're newer here, so, it might be tough to kind of answer this question, but what do you think the team has to do from, the moments you've been here to kind of reset things and get back to winning ways?
Yeah, stick together. Long season, man. It's a real long season. All it takes is one good win to turn this thing around, and that's usually how it goes. First of all, we got to, be better defensively. Shots going to go in, we put in the work as a team. They're going to fall. So all we got to do is focus on that end of the ball. I feel like we definitely, these last couple games, we kind of took steps back defensively since I've been here, and we got to fix it.
Thanks, Dorian.
Yep.
Rui, the Spurs were getting to the rim pretty frequently throughout the night, but especially in the second half. What did you see on the defensive side of the court, especially late?
Our defense was 1-5, and when we get switched up, somebody posted our smaller guys and they're whiting and all that. We had to have a low man, and there, of course, Chris Paul. He's one of the greatest point guard ever played. Whatever, he knows. He always looking at the other side, and he was just skipping the balls. So like, it was hard for everybody to kind of close out and make a play. But it was a whole thing that we planned. So it's we gotta and we couldn't of course when we do 1-5 AD gonna be on the top, so we didn't really have a low man protect anybody that. So yeah, it was tough for us. We had to be more physical, and yeah, everybody gotta have a mentality of protecting the rim.
Rui, can you just talk about what these past few days has been? I mean, obviously there's been so much happening away from the court. How were you able to kind of say, hey, we have a game? What are these last few days been like?
Oh, it's been tough, of course. We kind of, every day is literally have a different schedule, different news, different, everything's just really depends on this fire thing. And we don't know our schedule for next day. We are kind of worried about our houses and all that. And a couple of some of the teammates, my teammates, had to evacuate the house and all that. So it's been a lot, but it is what it is. We have to kind of, we talk about we have to kind of switch our gear. We can't be sorry for this. We just gotta lock in. I think it's a lot of distraction right now, a lot of things going on. But we just gotta focus on ourselves, and yeah, we just gotta get back to our track. Yeah.
Rui, there's been a few days obviously in between games, but the Lakers are currently now on a 3-game losing streak. What do you think has to happen to kind of adjust that?
I think, play harder. We gotta play for each other. I think this past 3 games, like you said, we kind of we kind of relied on our individual skills and all that. So we just gotta start playing together again. What we had in December, and get back on our track. We just got it's both hands. Offensively, defensively. We know playing for each other right now. So we gotta kind of we gotta stick together, and we get back on the track.
Rui, this past week on FanDuel Running Back, Boogie Cousins said that Wemby had a chance to be the best defensive player ever, like as far as his ceiling in his career. For you as a player, what's it like just going against him defensively? What kind of challenges does he present kind of throughout the course of a game?
Yeah, he can be. We talk about he can be. You talk about Wemby, right? Yeah, he can be. He can be in both. Both sides. Like he can of course. Protect the rim, but at the same time he can protect he can contest the 3 too. So he can be in both sides. So it's hard for us to kind of read it, because we never had a player like that. He's a new generation. So yes, of course, just him being there just distract a lot of our offense, and it's hard for us to kind of read it sometimes, even though he's not even there close to it. I feel like he's going to be, coming from somewhere. So of course, that's just a present, just him being on the court, as us against him is just, he's for sure one of the best defender. Yeah.
今日はお疲れ様です。トレードがあって、その後 これから慣れていこうかなっていう時にこういった火事があってうまいこと試合ができなかったり、ちょうどホームスタンドが続く前だったんですけれども、ちょっといろんな変化が続いた中で、今八村選手自身が難しいなと思う部分はどういうところですか？
そうですね、チームとしてのこの、シーズンも長いので、なんていうんですかね、団結力とかそれが強くなったり弱くなったりってことはあると思うんですけど、今それが弱いなと思いますし、チームとしてもあまりつながってないなっていうところは自分でも感じるので、そこは仕方ないと思いますし、そういうシーズンが通してそういう風になるっていうのは分かってるので、そこでどれだけその時間が短くできるかっていうのは次のまたウィニングストリック、特に今ホームスタンドなので、そこでどれだけできるかっていうのが大事だと思うので、そこはしっかりと僕らとしても考えていきたいなと思います。
JJ, you go into halftime up 9. What did you see shift in the second half?
Yeah, they called a timeout. We were up 10, tied going into the fourth. You point to the 13 points in the fourth quarter, but it was just, we gave up 73 points in the second half. Had 9 turnovers in both halves. Frankly, we should have had 70 in the first half offensively, and just couldn't keep the ball in front of us.
Specifically with the defense, you just mentioned not keeping it in front, but they did get to the rim a lot.
Yeah.
Where do you see the over?
Yeah, it's so Wemby being on the court. You have to kind of decide how you want to play coverage, whether you want to red. So if he's away from the basket and you're in coverage, let's say, in theory, the 5 would be away from the rim. If you red and he rolls, the 5's away from the rim. We just, the point of attack was not good tonight, and I'll have to look at the film. I turned to Ty, who had the scout today, and I just was like, man, feels like there's no one in the paint for us. It's just very, and that's what I saw in real time, and obviously I have to look at the tape, but just everything was at the rim. 66 points in the paint. I mean, it's tough.
JJ, it's obviously been a very difficult week for the group. What's the balance, in your opinion, in terms of giving grace given the circumstances versus viewing things objectively?
Yeah, I think I always try to give grace to myself, the staff, our players. Doesn't mean you don't critique, and it doesn't mean you don't tell the truth. And we've had, for 3 games now, a real slippage defensively. And we were, for whatever it was, 12, 13 games, a top 10 defense, trending in that direction until these last 3 games. So, we'll review this game. There's obviously some stuff from Dallas and Houston that probably is pertinent to this game as well. And as much as we'll prep Wednesday for Miami in the morning, we'll focus on the group and where we can improve defensively. And that's both film and on the court.
When looking at ways the layoff could affect your group, when we spoke pregame, you mentioned that turnovers was something that could pop up. I imagine you also expressed it to your team going into it. What nature did you see the turnovers, or how were they coming up to affect you tonight?
Some of them that I just remember off the top of my head were, I would describe as careless, and then the other ones, and the ones that, I don't know, just, we talked about personnel awareness as a big key for tonight. Throwing passes in tight spaces when Wemby's around is just not a good idea.
JJ mentioned the defensive slippage. It felt like when their guys were able to get just a little bit downhill, they used their physicality to basically push guys out of the way. How did that kind of look to you? And
there's
what needs to happen to sort of counteract?
Well, there were a lot, particularly in the second half, of middle drives. whether that was after a red or after a closeout. And, you know, there's some teams that are okay with the ball going middle. We're not a let the ball go middle team. And again, I didn't feel like we really had a low man presence. I think Mitch and his staff did a good job based on the last game where we were Reading, and they really tried to take advantage of that with pulling our low man in when we did pull in. If Wemby was in the paint, and they just skip it to the corner, and then you're either giving up a three or we just weren't good in our closeouts tonight.
Was it similar to the way that Dallas attacked you? Do you feel like?
No. I mean, Dallas was just straight target hunting, ISO. This was a little more movement, and Vassell and Castle in particular, I don't even know what they ended up with, but those two guys just killed us.
JJ, after the game, it looked like Wembanyama and Chris Paul walked over and had a moment with your kids. Just as a father, given this time, what did that mean to you that they took the time to do that?
Yeah, I mean, Chris is like a brother to me. It's funny, we were talking yesterday about our inner circles, and within the NBA, people you've worked with or people you know, people you have a relationship with, coaches, teammates, equipment managers, PR staff, whatever it may be. And, in the league long enough, you have this big circle, and it's people you like, people you love, and then it's your brothers. And Chris is in that inner circle of brothers. He called me this afternoon and said, Vic and I are going to go, whether you win or we win, we're going to go over and give the boys jerseys. He's well aware that, they're huge NBA fans, all their basketball cards. I ran a podcast out of my home for 2 years, and all the players would come through and they get their either a jersey or a card signed, and they had a collection of jerseys and cards, and they lost all that. So it was nice of them to do it. They now each have two, because Austin was nice enough to leave a couple for him in his locker after practice the other day. So I appreciate all the love, and not surprised Chris did something like that.
Thanks, Coach.